Hey everyone, this is 5 Minutes with Cage, and today we're going to talk about something that's so important is how do we save time by skilling through a bunch of customers. But first, we're going to back up and say, which customers do we need to identify first where there's some opportunity? So we're going to mix in a little bit of coaching, looking for opportunities, but then how do we quickly go in there and just find the opportunities that we need to touch? So this report out of a CRM, I like looking at the touches report for this too out of eLeads, but for this one, this is the dealership performance report, one of my favorites inside of Vince. So when you're in here, one of the things that we do with our clients is we're always looking for the gaps, right? So where we're winning or where this store is winning, you can see is quickly 56% of the leads that they're getting, the internet, they're setting appointments with and closing at 22%. Not bad, right? Like, we'll take it. The opportunity is right here. Right now, there's some other opportunities we could see, but specifically around the internet where there's the bulk of volume, take a look at this. We have 22 used, 2 set. So a freeze here because this happens a lot. What I'll see teams do when I ask them, like, how do you go through the 22 that you have? I'll ask y'all, what do you think most people do when you're trying to figure out where do I start with the 22 customers? There's 2 that we sold or 2 set appointments with, right? We've got 22 other customers. We've sold 1. So there's 21 working customers unless there's some bad ones. Most people start with the most recent date and go from there. I say don't do that. Start with the most important customers first. Who's talking to you and how far along down the journey of buying a car have they got? It's not so much just the dates. You also have to take into count the dates and what the customers have done. All right. So you're following them. Come on back. Okay. So now the next thing that we do is I like to click on this 22 to open up a new window. So we're going to do that right up here and I'm going to click on this tab. So check this out. What I love about this when you click on this tab, and let me just go to the internet one because this is a different one. What we're looking for here is you see these columns at the top where it shows the lead age, hot lead. The first thing that I'm looking at as a leader here is hot. How many of my customers that I have out of these used are hot? None right now, or at least the team hasn't classified them as that. So the opportunity is what right now? We got to organize our customer flow a little bit, right? Because one of the things the team is doing, we're statusing them, right? So some stores that use custom statuses, I love that because the custom statuses, they trigger the follow-up. So when you're talking to somebody that's engaged, then the follow-up will be different. If you're talking to a customer that is classified as hot, meaning that they're ready to buy a car, they're talking numbers, hey, then they need to be touched daily. But if it's somebody that's, as we can see here, cold as polar bear's toenails, that's Outcast. So that's why I like this YouTube stuff because like I can actually slow down a little bit. But for my Outcast people, please comment, send me a message. But which song is that? Cold as polar bear's toenails. But Duran, stay focused. Andre 3000, that's later. But when you put somebody in this cold as polar bear's toenails or just a cold monthly follow-up, now you're going to see that customer monthly. So as a leader, I'm not going to pay attention to these as much. What we're looking for as a leader is what stage is the customer in? What have we said? And then when's the last time we actually spoke to the customer? See how when you organize that, you can move at scale. This is before having to bring in the AIs because don't bring in AIs to bad data, because it's only going to make the problems worse and it's going to make the customer experience that much worse for your customers. Instead, slow down. Organize your people. So if somebody is at an appointment, right, and they're in appointment set status, this is good. They've been touched as of the most recent date, 6/3, because that's when I recorded this was on June the 3rd, right? But if somebody is a brand new, look at this one, engaged shopper, came in on June the 1st, there's been nothing else since the 1st. What happened? Right? And this is where statuses, this is where leaders, this is watching film as a leader, as a coach, and you got to print this stuff off or either scan through this and slow down and be like, what's going on with my people and how are we helping our customers? All right. So look, if something like this is important to you, like organizing, like I'm all about that life, listen, set your CRM up. And if you need some guidance, of course, that's what we're here for. And if you comment, send me a message. I'll send you a one-pager that we have on how to set up your statuses and some idea patterns that you could use. But listen, I want to say thank you so much for being here, allowing me to connect with y'all. And until next time, thank you for sharing your time, energy, and love. Be well.